What up, everybody? So today we're going to be welding, and we're going to be testing out some different tungstens, from the rare earth purple to the 2% lanthanated. Also going to be testing some different post flows and liters per minute to see what I can do to rectify these outcomes of these grayish welds I've been having lately. Here's just some video from the last practice day at D1, or the day before D1. But yeah, just doing my thing, drifting. 500 horsepower car I'm chasing right there, but let's hop right into it. So I got my new tanks. These are officially mine. They even labeled them for me. This is my argon tank. My other tank is for MIG. It's not here. We're going to be using the CK torch number 17 with a number 10 cup with a little bit of stick out. Here I'm just showing off my my little cover for the nylon line to protect it. It's a cheap little fix to rectify not having the nylon split and all that, but we're going to be using the Primeweld Tig 225X with the foot pedal. And this is what we're working on today. This is the helmet I use. This is the Tulum. I got this off Amazon. It was only like 50 something bucks, but it's an auto darkening helmet. And for the price, it's pretty decent. The only complaint I have is that it doesn't lock when I lift it up anymore, all the way up. But yeah, you have sensitivity and delay settings in here. The battery is easy to exchange. But yeah, it's a nice little helmet. I'm going to upgrade it for sure, though. Alright, so we're getting ready to throw some tack welds on this puppy. I started the day out with the 2% lanthanated, and yeah, it's time to tack weld this thing up. It's also very important that when you're setting these tack welds that you get the piping positioned perfectly. Otherwise, you risk blowing holes through like certain areas, I realized. So because of the misalignment, it'll put heat into one piece of it way too much versus the other. Like if it's misaligned and if there's a gap, it just makes it a lot harder to keep a nice bead going. So I started welding at 65 amps with the foot pedal, and at that higher amperage, I found that the welds from start to stop each time aren't consistent because I'm constantly trying to find that sweet spot. That comes with more practice, obviously, but I think if I lower the amperage to say like 50, and I can just full blast every time on my start and stops or whatever, or the re-arcs, it'll be a lot more consistent. Here you can see the welds have that like grayish hint to them still, and that's oxidation, I believe. Alright, so start finishing up these welds on this one piece. This is the same first piece that we began on, and doing these constant stops and restarts is making me really want one of those rotating bands for piping. That way you can just keep a consistent flow going versus start and stop, start and stop. It's so annoying. But it's part of the game. I'll get there. Here it's all finished up, and you can see the different weld patterns from the start and stop. There I'm cold, then there I'm back, there's a little too hot, then there I'm back, and there's me burning my hand. But yeah, if I could find that consistency right there, then I'm money, man. So as you can see, I'm not using any argon or solar flux in here. This is without any back purge or anything, and that is what we call sugaring. and that will lead to cracking down the line. It's not a solid weld all the way around inside. Outside looks fine, but that's pretty bad. This is just practice though, so yeah. So we're going to be adding some solar flux to the next piece to show the difference. This is just a 0% alcohol beer can cut in half, and that's the remaining solar flux that dried up. All you really have to do is find a certain alcohol, pour a little in, mix it up till you get a nice consistency like cream, and then apply it to the back of the welds, or a back of what you're going to be welding on the inside, like so. It's like painting. So rinse and repeat. Gonna tack weld these. I believe I turned the amperage down to about 35 amps here. Tack welding on the side also is a little bit more difficult. It's easier and difficult. At the right angle, it's easier because the metal from the top will fall right into the bottom, but if the gap is too big and you don't have it positioned perfectly, you end up just burning a hole right through. So again, tack welding can make or break your entire welding process. It can make it streamlined, or it can make it a bit more difficult, because then you got to go back and fill holes, and it makes the whole welds look ugly. So this is the only part about solar flux I don't like. It leaves a bunch of like crumbs and mess, and it gets dirty and possibly can contaminate your welds. So we're gonna get this welded up. I didn't turn the amperage down yet. That'll be on the next piece we do when we attach these two pieces together. But yeah, just some more welding going on. Alright, so we got them welded up, and here you can see the drastic differences. The solar flux leaves that like black film on the outside of the weld, and eventually when it cools off, it starts cracking off, and you'll hear it go and eventually it'll all be clean. I'll get it cleaned up a little bit better so you can see the differences, but sugaring versus non-sugaring. And this is the mess that solar flux leaves behind. It's a little bit cleaned up. Once you run the car, it'll blow all that out with the heat and all that. But you can definitely see the differences. Poor lighting. Back to good lighting. But you can see the big differences. It's one solid piece. And I'm showing you more of the solar flux mess. It's a mess. But yeah, sugaring to the left and no sugaring to the right. This will definitely hold for a long time. This will definitely crack. This will hold, and this will crack. Solar flux is legit, guys. Saves you money on your not having to buy purge equipment and all that. Alright, so to the left we have the original one we started with, and then to the right I increased the liters per minute and also lowered the amperage slightly from 65 to about like 45-ish. And to the left has nice beads. To the right, there's a lot of inconsistencies. Yeah, there's a lot of cold welds on this one with the lower amperage. The heat affected zone is a little smaller than the one on the left, but the left has better penetration and better looking welds with the higher amperage, which is what I like. I don't know why the light makes the welds look weird at certain angles. But yeah, this is with the solar flux, and you can see it's cracking off even more, and then it's showing more of a solid weld on the backside versus the sugaring. So solar flux is definitely a go-to, bro. Get that. Someone in my comments section actually was talking about it, so I figured I'd throw a little solar flux in versus like using purging gas with argon, to show them that it is legit. So if you're watching this, it's okay, you can buy this, bro. It works. Alright, so we're swapping out tungstens. I was previously using the 2% lanthanated, and now I'm swapping to the rare earth mix, which is the purple tip. After watching yesterday's video, well, this one, I definitely prefer the 2% lanthanated. I dull the tips as well. Here's a 2% lanthanated, it's a baby blue. But with the 2% lanthanated, I found that the arc starts and the arc was a lot better. And with the tip dulled, it actually is easier, or not easier, the puddle is it flows a lot better versus the rare purple earth. But yeah, I'm just using a number 17 CK torch with a number 10 cup on it and a gas lens kit, a stubby kit, and yeah, putting in that purple. Not a lot of tungsten stick out. Alright, so we're welding the two pieces we originally had welded earlier. I'm at 35 amps here, and it's just welding way too slow, and the welds are a little cold, and they're a little smaller too, which I didn't really like. And we're welding and welding and welding, and the beads are a lot smaller than they were with the 65 amps, but it's just welding really, really slow. I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? I don't like this. So I make some changes. I'm swapping out back to the 2% lanthanated, and I also dulled the tip on it again so I have better puddle control. And then we're gonna weld this last piece on. There I was just burning off the lint from the paper towel. Don't want that in the weld. But these tack welds went on nice and easy. I bumped up the amperage back to 50 so I can just flat out keep the pedal down and keep that consistency going on with the weld. And then I bumped up the post flow, so I saw a difference when I bumped up the liters per minute in my flow regulator. And then I also bumped up the post flow, and I just kept seeing the better positive changes, and it led me to believe that it's been gas coverage this whole time, making the welds turn out that grayish color. So yeah, in this next part of the video we'll get to talking about it, but definitely saw a better difference. I had to grab a new TIG rod there because I ran out. But yeah, we made some good progress today. Alright, so if you see this dot right there, that's where I terminated from right to left. And that's where I began, right next to it. And compared to the rest of the welds, man, like you can see this one's a lot more silver with a lot less blue, which is the heat, what do they call it? Not the heat shield, but how far the heat travels out over the gas cup. I basically learned today that I need a bigger gas cup for stainless, because I've been trying to figure out how to get my welds to be like silver, and I finally figured out that I like the blue. I think it's a lanthanated, 2% lanthanated tungsten over the purple rare earth. Let me turn my music down. But Let me turn it down even more. Yeah, but with 2% lanthanated, it's a lot more. The puddle is a lot more controllable, or not a lot more controllable. It has a better arc than the rare earth purple one. And then, yeah, with proper gas coverage and post flow, I extended the post flow a lot more. So you can see here to here, it's a lot more silver. It's actually silver right. Let me get like a pointer or something. All right. Man, the lighting in here is shit. But basically here's the last welds that I put on, and then here's where I began. But as you can see, it's a lot more silver here versus the previous welds we've been doing all day today. So this is just telling me I need more flow and coverage. I'm using a number 10 cup right now, which is about that size, with them with stick out, which isn't a lot of stick out. You can actually go the width of the cup itself on a little study kit too. But as I increase the post flow, the blue and gray disappeared drastically in these welds, or mostly the gray. But as you can see, it's two different heat. This is the heat zone, and this is the heat zone. It's a lot smaller here versus here. It's badass, man. I learned a lot today during this process. And yeah, Mr. Furyk, if you're watching this, stand by for an order, because I'm gonna make my purchase for sure. I'm gonna get me a number 12 cup. I think you make a 14 as well. Yeah, this machine is fucking badass, man. You got so, shout out to Ian, bro. You put me onto them. They've done nothing but take care of me. Got the MIG 180 there and the cut 60 there. I'm gonna start plasma cutting here soon, because I can cut up to like 20 millimeters of metal, which is fucking badass. So you plug it in your house, you plug the cut 60 into your house outlet, you can cut up to 8 millimeters of metal, so a 110 volt outlet. And then if you plug it into a 200 volt outlet, or 200 to 220 to 220 outlet, you can go to 20 millimeters. That's what I got from reading the manual today. And then this MIG 180 is fucking badass. This is my favorite MIG welder. I'm set on Primeweld for life. This welder can definitely be in a shop of some sort doing really quality work. It's just setting up everything correctly. As you can see, it's just having the proper setup is so correct. I'm not saying to you guys, like, I'm not no light professional welder, you know, crazy out there. I just started like maybe a month or something ago. This is probably like my 10th time welding, and I'm learning, man. This shit is awesome, and you get the proper machine. I don't know, it all has to just come together, and as you can see, it's fucking awesome. This is how the welds are gonna be coming out of the factory here soon, and then it'll have a lot less blue around it because the gas coverage will be a lot better. Instead of the number 10 protecting only from here to here, because this is where I terminated here, and I put it in the middle and it covers from here to here and then here to here. Number 14 cup will protect the back side of the weld as I'm welding, and probably keep the same consistency in the color. I tested different volts, amperages. I went all the way down to 35, but that shit is way too fucking slow. So I turned it back up to 50, 55, sometimes even 65. And I think, what, this was 65, this was 65. But 50 has the best consistency for me, because I can just full blast the pedal, versus these, I'm finding the pedal, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's where it's good. See the inconsistencies?
So like with the restarts, these are the restart inconsistencies. So found a nice little spot that I'm going to stay at for the rest of my welding on stainless steel, exhaust piping, and yeah, if I just had a bigger cup, this whole thing would be looking nice and silver. But the welds themselves aren't bad at all. Here I did it like a little repair on a hole, but I could repass over that and fix that. But the rest, pretty fucking solid, man. I wish this camera had better focusing so you can see, but getting close to stacking, you know, legit dimes. From here to here, as you can see, nice dime sizes, here to here to here to here. Little hiccup, then back. Little hiccup, then back. Like, we're getting there, man. So, see how it's more shiny here? Sorry, I can keep rambling on. It's more shiny here, and then it's more shiny here. And then there's where I terminated, more shiny there. So yeah, learned a lot today. As far as the tungstens go that I was talking about, these are the tungstens I was talking about. These are the brands that I use. This is what, 2% lanthanated, which was the blue one, and then these are the rare earth purple ones. So it's different tungsten build materials inside, and I definitely prefer the 2% lanthanated with the tip of it not sharp, because the arc is, I found that the arc was a little more stable that way. But we're already, what, 8 minutes into me blabbing my mouth off. I'll stop talking, you guys get the point. Primeweld seeds are awesome. I'm getting better with my welding, and yeah, shout out to the guys that are coming through in the factory getting their stuff welded up, because we're only getting better and better and better. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the works that I'm going to be welding and making, and a lot of big things are coming, man. It's just I'm being patient and I'm doing everything in the right timing. I'm no longer rushing. I wasn't forcing things to work, but I'm no longer rushing anything. When it's the time, it's the time. And right now I'm focusing on spiritual factory and building my company. So yeah, things are getting serious, and a lot of changes are coming. So you guys stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'm gonna keep talking my mouth off. And yeah, you guys have a good day, good night, wherever you are. From Japan with love. Peace. I can't close my hand today, but peace.